All right, John. I found this book bag out in the hallway. All right, is this yours?
No.
No, it's not mine. Any idea how we could find out maybe whose it is?
Look inside.
All right. Okay. How about this? What is this?
Right.
Baby wipes. All right. We got apple, blueberry, banana puree. Looks good. All right, and then we've got, what is that? Looks like a little
Medicine.
baby medicine. Okay. And what do we have here?
Binky.
Binky. All right. And what is this?
Baby books.
Okay. So, yeah, that looks like, maybe a younger kid's reading or a baby's reading. So, you had mentioned baby a couple times in there. Who do you think's book bag this belongs to?
Maybe a teacher because maybe a teacher who has babies.
Okay.
Because baby food, baby wipes.
Okay. So maybe a teacher who has a baby, all right? So this probably belongs, I guess you could say, to,
Teacher.
okay, for what reason?
For her baby.
Her baby. Okay, good. So we could kind of say it's like a baby's bag, right? So how did you come up with that?
Because
Well, how did we determine that we think this is a baby's bag?
the stuff inside.
The stuff inside, because it's all related to what? A baby.
Baby.
All right, good. Okay, so what did you do right there? How did you figure out that this was a baby's bag? We looked at all the different things in there, okay, and we came up with inferences. Do you know what inferences are?
No.
No? Okay. Well, we took kind of all the information that we had there, right, and try to figure out, putting all those things together, who this would be for. And you said a baby or a teacher and her baby. So that's good. So that is what an inference is. And we've heard, drawing, conclusions from context and using context clues to figure things out. So that's an example right there of how you were able to take inferences, from what was in there to determine what that is. So what we're going to do today is take a look at a book, okay? And we're going to take a look and read through some pages and try and figure out some inferences draw some inferences on what we're reading, okay? So we're going to read Stella Luna today, okay? And what I want you to do, okay, as we go through there, is I'm going to ask you some questions about what we're reading, okay? And we'll start up here at the top at number 1. Yeah, put your name in there. We'll start up at the top, and then as we're reading, I'll ask you some questions, okay? And I want you to try and figure out, what's going on in the story. All right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, Stella Luna. And I'll get a little closer to you. All right, so Stella Luna. In a warm and sultry forest far, far away, there once lived a mother fruit bat and her new baby. Oh, how Mother Bat loved her soft, tiny baby. I'll name you Stella Luna, she crooned. Each night, Mother Bat would carry Stella Luna clutched to her breast as she flew out to search for food. One night, as Mother Bat followed the heavy scent of ripe fruit, an owl spied her. On silent wings, the powerful bird swooped down upon the bats, dodging and shrieking. Mother Bat tried to escape, but the owl struck again and again, knocking Stella Luna into the air. Her baby wings were as limp and useless as wet paper. Down, down she went, faster and faster into the forest below. Okay, so we're going to think about, the 2 pages we just read here, okay? And I want you to think about, some of the questions I'm going to ask you. I want you to try and make some inferences about, what we just read, okay? And then I want you to write it on your paper here and we'll talk about it, all right? So what can you infer is the reason the owl attacked the mother bat? And what makes you think that? Okay, and you don't have to tell me right away, but we'll come back in a minute and talk about it, okay?
What was the question? Will you repeat it, please?
What can you infer is the reason the owl attacked the mother bat? What makes you think that? Okay, and just try and think, out loud, what would be a reason that an owl would do that? If you need more room, you can write to the side there, okay? Okay, so why don't we talk about that one here, okay? What do you think, my question was, what can you infer the reason the owl attacked the mother bat? What makes you think that? So what did you come up with?
I think the owl was looking for food also.
Okay, good. And, she attacked the mother bat and the baby fell, right? Okay, so, what was the mother bat doing when they were doing that? We were talking about in the first page. She was looking for food too, okay? So, it looks like we kind of have a reason that the owl attacked the mother bat, so that's a good inference there, is that you kind of connected that she was probably looking for food too, so that's pretty good. All right, go on to the next page. The dark leafy tangle of branches caught Stella Luna as she fell. One twig was small enough for Stella Luna's tiny feet. Wrapping her wings about her, she clutched at a thin branch, trembling with cold and fear. "Mother," Stella Luna squeaked, "where are you?" By daybreak, the baby bat could hold on no longer. Down, down again she dropped. You think Stella Luna's pretty scared right now? She fell through the tree and her mother is nowhere to be found. Flump, Stella Luna landed headfirst in a soft, downy nest, startling the 3 baby birds who lived there. Stella Luna quickly clambered from the nest and hung out of sight below it. She listened to the babble of 3 birds. "What was that?" cried Flap. "I don't know, but it's hanging by its feet," chirped Flitter. "Shh, here comes Mama," hissed Pip. And you can see the baby birds. And who's in there upside down? Yeah. Many, many times that day, Mama Bird flew away, always returning with food for her babies. Stella Luna was terribly hungry, but not for the crawly things Mama Bird brought. Finally, though, the little bat could bear it no longer. She climbed into the nest, closed her eyes, and opened her mouth. Plop! In dropped a green, big grasshopper. Okay, so now we're on to number 2 here, and we can see, what's that picture we've got there on the page?
It's Stella Luna
Eating a green grasshopper. It's gross. Would you eat a grasshopper?
no.
No? Okay. What can you infer is the reason Stella Luna was not hungry for the crawly things? What do you think? So Stella Luna's a bat. She fell into a bird's nest. So why is Stella Luna kind of grossed out about that? What do you think was the reason?
Because her species doesn't really eat.
Her species doesn't eat? Probably gross green gooey insects, right?
Yeah.
Right? And why do you think that? How did you come up with that?
It just, in the picture, it just looks nasty.
In the picture it looks nasty? And what else? Were there any words in there that, or any sentences in there that maybe made you think that maybe she wasn't really into green, gross grasshoppers?
Stella Luna was terribly hungry, but not for the crawly things Mama Bird brought.
Yeah. So, right there again, we're making inferences that, she's not exactly excited to eat green things. And what's something else in here? that even if we took that sentence away, I'm reading something else here. Finally, though, the little bat could bear it no longer. Okay, so she was really struggling because she's so hungry, but she just couldn't bear it any longer, right? Okay, she climbed into the nest, and if you're gonna eat something gross, what would you do? Probably close your eyes and just take a spoonful or a bite of something gross. Plug your nose. Yeah, that's good. Probably plug your nose. So she did all those things. So we could probably even take that sentence away and come with the fact that she wasn't really excited about eating this green grasshopper. So yeah, that's good. Okay. Stellaluna learned to be like the birds. She stayed awake all day and slept at night. She ate bugs even though they tasted awful. Her bat ways were quickly disappearing, except for one thing. Stellaluna still liked to sleep hanging by her feet. Once when Mama was away, the curious baby birds decided to try it too. When Mama Bird came home, she saw 8 tiny feet gripping the edge of the nest. "Eek," she cried. "Get back up here this instant. You're going to fall and break your necks." You can see all the birds hanging there like the bat. Okay. The birds clambered back into the nest, but Mama Bird stopped Stellaluna. "You are teaching my children to do bad things, and I will not let you back into this nest unless you promise to obey the rules of this house." Stellaluna promised. She ate bugs without making faces, she slept in the nest at night, and she didn't hang by her feet. Stellaluna behaved as a good bird should. Okay, and from this page, from what we read, what can you infer was the reason that Stellaluna stayed with the birds? Okay, what did you come up with?
She had nowhere else to go.
She had nowhere else to go, okay. And if you kind of remember back towards the beginning of the story, she fell through the branches and held on for dear life and didn't know what to do. And where was her mom? She didn't know where her mom was, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, you know, Stellaluna, what was the one thing she really liked doing at night? Hanging by her feet, right? Mm-hmm. And you know, Mama Bird said, you know, you're teaching my babies bad things, but she's used to doing that because she's a bat, right? And that's what bats like to do. But what was more important, hanging by her feet or being without a nest? You know, is that what's more important? Is it more important to hang by your feet by yourself, or do you think she thought it was more important to stay in a nest with the birds?
She thought it was more important to stay with the nest.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can make an inference there that, you know, that's the reason. You know, she's like, I don't want to be alone. I don't know where my mom is, right? Okay, she doesn't want to be alone. And plus, at least she's getting food. You know, she might not be getting the food she wants, but at least she's got the safety of the mother bird and the food and everything, right? So that's good. All the babies quickly grew. Soon the nest became crowded. Mama Bird told them it was time to learn to fly. One by one, Pip, Flitter, Flap, and Stellaluna jumped from the nest. Their wings worked. I'm just like them, thought Stellaluna. I can fly too. Pip, Flitter, and Flap landed gracefully on a branch. Stellaluna tried to do the same. How embarrassing. You know, because that's not exactly how birds land, is it? You know? I will fly all day, Stellaluna told herself. Then no one will see how clumsy I am. The next day, Pip, Flitter, Flap, and Stellaluna went flying far from home. They flew for hours, exercising their new wings. The sun is setting, warned Flitter. We had better go home or we will get lost in the dark, said Flap. But Stellaluna had flown far ahead and was nowhere to be seen. The 3 anxious birds went home without her. Uh-oh. All alone, Stellaluna flew and flew until her wings ached, and she dropped into a tree. I promised not to hang by my feet, Stellaluna sighed. So she hung by her thumbs and soon fell asleep. She didn't hear the soft sound of wings coming near. Hey, a loud voice said. Why are you hanging upside down? Stellaluna's eyes opened wide. She saw a peculiar face. I'm not upside down. You are, Stellaluna said. Ah, but you're a bat. Bats hang by their feet. You are hanging by your thumbs, so that makes you upside down, the creature said. I'm a bat, I'm hanging by my feet. That makes me right side up. Stellaluna was confused. Mama Bird told me I was upside down, she said.